big question is, why are old people mean to young people and young people mean to old people? And it's really weird because in the workplace it happens too. I have a premise that when people turn 32, 33, they think their experience is the truth. I was 13 again. I think it was a big year for me when my dad said, "No good music has been written since 1942." But he did admit that the Beatles could carry a tune. I mean, really? Also used to say, how come the kids don't walk to the library and look it up in the encyclopedia instead of pushing a button with something called Google, right? People are petrified. Look at everyone so petrified about AI right now. Oh my God, it's going to take over. So it's weird that every single thing that happens, each generation, for some reason, just puts people down. I decided to have a Gen Z advisory board. If you could kill them or listen. And I decided to listen because who changes the world? It is the 20 somethings. And then those of us that are still alive and still thinking when we're really old and we're not worried about the career. We're not worried about feeding. We're not worried about schools. We're not worried about our kids. There's a whole bunch of time that people have where they're really concerned with other things. So this Gen Z advisory board was hysterical. I mean, they taught me so much stuff. They wanted to work on health. And so I said, okay, you can have, a health program for mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, do something like that. Well, in the beginning, all they wanted was money from us. Oh, we want money for mental, and we want you to pay for the shrink, and we want you to do this for therapy. So I said, well, let's change the name of it. So I changed the name of the program to Self-Health. Go ahead, say it. Self-Health. Hard to say, hard to do. So that means they had to come up with a program on how we can all work on ourselves, but how could we do this program? And I'm telling you, they were brilliant. One of their ideas for a month was that we all had to do something new that we had never done before, that we've always wanted to do that would kind of scare us. COVID was really hard. Anybody who's been in the service business at the time, a lot of businesses went out of business and it was tough. And I spent a lot of time in New York and walking around. That was fun. But $45 on a Friday night at the West Side Comedy Club, I would listen to comedy and it would make me laugh. And that was really cool. And then someone said, why don't you try open mic? And it was right at the time that we had to do a something for ourselves in the self-health program. So I wrote up 5 minutes of something that I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, I get up on stage and I did it. I had my notes. You realize that when you're with other wannabe comedians, nobody's listening to you anyway, but a handheld mic up in front. I left and I walked back to the apartment 10 feet off the ground because to be that scared about something that wouldn't kill me, wouldn't hurt me, but to be that petrified, I was high as a kite. And everybody else had different experiences, and I had to do something because I had to be the example that I would go along with the program. Well, then I signed up for a class and did it. It was so much fun. They went to the library and they finally got the book that they'd never gotten before, or they'd only been reading digital and they actually read something. What we did was so much fun. It was really cool, and it was all Gen Z. They were really up, and we had to report in every week and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the whole discipline of doing that was an incredible experience that I give total and complete credit to this day to the Gen Z folks because they're creative, they're smart, they wanted to do something, and they have a great sense of humor.